The Golden Age Red Lantern. Let me explain. The first ever Green Lantern was Alan Scott, a character who had no ties to the Green Lantern Corps. However, DC would later reinvent the concept of Green Lantern into the giant peacekeeping organization we know today. With that, the lanterns began to expand to different colors such as yellow, blue, pink, and red. But recently, DC has decided to revamp their Golden Age of comics by introducing new characters and concepts, with one of my favorites being the Red Lantern. Military engineer Alan Scott and Corporal Johnny Ladd were assigned on a dangerous mission to capture the Crimson Flame for the US military. The Crimson Flame was a fire that burned underwater for eternity and was obviously a myth, but evidence showed it could be real, and if it was, the American government sought to control its power. Alan Scott was the head engineer on this mission and developed a way to contain the Crimson Flame alongside his second-in-command, Johnny Ladd. However, that wasn't the only thing the two developed. Sadly, this was around 1935, meaning their relationship was illegal. Still, the two dated, and when the time came to capture the flame, their device was a success. Or at least it was at first. Soon, the flame began to retaliate and threatened to tip the boat over, forcing Alan to dump the flame back into the ocean. Unfortunately, as Johnny and Alan celebrated, the flame rose up and took Johnny, burning his body as his lungs filled with water. Years later, after Alan had become Green Lantern, a copycat began to stop crime, but at the scene left a corpse of someone Alan was friends with. And each friend died of drowning, yet somehow also had burn marks. Eventually, Alan figured out who this was, but when he came face to face with the Red Lantern, everything Alan knew was shattered. Johnny Ladd was actually Vladimir Sokov, a Russian runaway who joined the USSR's military and became a spy. From there, he was sent to infiltrate the Americans' mission to capture the Crimson Flame, and he found the perfect way to do so. By creating a relationship with Alan, Vladimir learned everything he needed, and the plan was in motion to steal the flame. But when Alan dumped the flame back in the ocean, causing it to kidnap and kill Vlad, the Russians recovered his body, and he was resurrected by the flame. In order to increase Vladimir's connection to the Crimson Flame, the Russians kept killing him over and over again, in order to increase his rage, which increased his power levels. Once he was ready, the Red Lantern was then sent out to capture and kill the Green Lantern. This is from the recent Alan Scott Green Lantern comic book, which I highly recommend. It is very good. In fact, I have my copy signed by the writer. It is a great story, and if you're unfamiliar with Alan Scott, it is a great starting place.